Today I wanted to update everyone on what's going on with trade, China's currency devaluation, and a few other things. And once again, I wanted to remind everyone that anyone who's referring to what's going on as trade war, and you're going to see that everywhere, anyone you should think of as a pinhead. They don't know what's going on. Most of them, the vast majority of them, are followers. They have no clue. They just read something and hear something and they fly with it. And they want to write their own articles because everyone these days is their own expert, right? Everyone's an expert. Every complete idiot out there is an expert. They have their own views because they have read this and that, and they don't realize 99% of everything on the internet is fake, is inaccurate. It's complete bullshit. And it troubles me, it disturbs me, it pisses me off that you have people delving into things that they should not even touch. Because everyone today thinks they're an expert. It seems like everyone out there has Dunning-Kruger, right? It's a big problem. I don't care if you're talking about a Federal Reserve official or some professor, some economics professor at Harvard or Princeton or Wharton. If they're referring to what's going on as a trade war, they're an idiot. They don't know what's going on. Why do I say that? I say that because, and shockingly, and I don't think Trump got this. I mean, he's getting his talking points from his advisors. Probably Lighthizer informed him that, as he said early on, the trade war began a long time ago, and we lost it because we didn't respond. That's a fact. And I wrote about this in America's Financial Apocalypse. And remember, I'm the only guy in the world, the only person in the world. Write it down. If you can find someone else, let me know. Guaranteed there is no one else that wrote about trade in detail as it pertains to this historic economic period. In fact, I wrote about it 2 years before the financial crisis, right, in America's Financial Apocalypse. In detail, it was the main point, the main focus of that book in terms of the bigger picture, longer term theme. The destruction of the middle class in America was due to America's reckless trade policy that empowered corporations, U.S. corporations, at the expense of U.S. workers. And this is why we've seen this rapid growth in the emerging markets, especially Southeast Asia. It's been at the expense of working class, middle class Americans. Their jobs have been sent overseas, outsourcing, right? And the only other way to recapture these losses really has been to be an investor in the stock market. I'm sure you understand why, right? Because the corporations, it's the rich people and the corporations that have benefited in the U.S. Now you have a chance to ride piggyback to a very small degree if you're a stock market investor, right? And the other beneficiaries have been, of course, East Asia primarily, emerging markets in general. They have gotten your opportunities, your wealth. It's come from you, gone to them. Washington allowed it. Corporate America did it. It's a fact. This is one reason why I was banned. They didn't want people to know this. And I wrote about it extensively, as you all know. So, when someone refers to trade war, it implies that the U.S. began the war, right? Because you didn't hear this term before 2018, before, February, March, let's say March 2018, when Trump began officially talking about this. Of course, he may have talked about this, during his campaign a little bit, but the whole trade war phrase came out a few months later in 2018 after he had been talking about it. And of course the media ran with it and everyone's talking about it as being a trade war. Therefore that implies that America began this so-called war, and it's simply not true. It is factually inaccurate. And anyone who doesn't understand that is a pinhead. They shouldn't be talking about the issue. The trade war, the real war, began decades ago, probably officially by Japan, as I've mentioned in the past, in the 70s. But in terms of China, that began a long time ago. And the acceleration began early on after China was admitted to the World Trade Organization in 2001. Even since I wrote America's Financial Apocalypse in 2006, the degree to which China has ramped up its illegal activities and other types of anti-market behaviors related to trade has been tremendous. A lot has happened since 2006. And of course, I have covered that in the research, in the Intelligent Investor, in the Market Forecaster over the past several years. I've talked about the government subsidized resources that China's manufacturing industries have been able to benefit from, which have enabled them to more readily, more easily flood the market, dump all kinds of products into the market illegally due to subsidized pricing, so on and so forth. And that, of course, has damaged, if not have destroyed, complete industries in many countries. So I wanted to make that point clear, because you guys that are hearing this, you're probably the only people in the world, or certainly a very small handful, that get it, that understand this. Some may say, well, it's a semantics, it's up for debate. That's bullshit. It's not. Asia's been pulling this shit for a long time, folks. And the U.S. has allowed Asia to get away with it because of the corporations. The corporations, at the end of the day, they don't want their profit margins to be hurt. They're thinking over the next 3 months, over the next quarterly earnings report, and they want cheap labor. They want low cost of goods. They don't care about the quality, they want the profits. And this is why we're in the situation we are today. I've been warning people about this for so long. Nobody wants to listen. Instead, you've got these gluttonous consumers in America lining up for the cheapest bullshit they can find, despite the fact they don't need most of the stuff they buy, and they certainly can't afford it. I wrote about this in America's Financial Apocalypse. I wrote about the consumer credit, right? Go through, read that, the extended version, go through and read all that. I wrote about all this stuff.